What's up, moviegoers? Welcome to the Markio Podcast. I'm your host, Anthony. In this episode of the Markio Podcast, I'm talking about Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Now, in this installment of the series, the plot follows Jason's spirit, which possesses other people to continue his killings after his death at the hands of the FBI, while attempting to return to his original state by possessing a member of his bloodline. So now, as you may know, the seventh movie, Part 7, Friday the 13th, was actually supposed to feature Freddy and Jason, but after the subsequent, box office failure of Part 7 and 8, Paramount Pictures sold the character rights of Jason Voorhees to New Line Cinema, the home of Freddy Krueger. Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday was released on August 13th, 1993. The running time is 88 minutes. The other running time, the unrated cut, is 90 minutes. It had a budget of $3 million and the grossed $15.9 million at the box office. Now, the thing about this movie is that we only get to see Jason in the beginning and at the end. He's this fat, overgrown, grotesque figure, and it's weird. And basically, it is soon revealed that the FBI lures Jason into an ambush where he is shot and obliterated by heavily armed FBI and SWAT agents. Jason's remains are sent to the morgue where his still beating heart entices the coroner to eat it, allowing the killer's soul to possess him. Jason in the coroner's body escapes the morgue, killing other people. And basically, it's so called that the heart, if it's eaten, possesses the next victim. I did not like this movie at all. It didn't do it for me. The characters were dull. It didn't feel right. And basically, we find out that this parasite is what's making people, kill for certain fun and stuff. I mean, Jason's resurrection is unexplained in this movie. We just see him, he's there, that's it. And he's hunted by the FBI, okay? And then they set up a sting that successfully killed this character over 8 movies. Basically, it's literally his black heart goes from one being to another. It is revealed that he has a sister and a niece, and that he needs to get his body back. And Jason resurrects himself, but his niece stabs him with this so-called mythical dagger that is only the way to kill Jason Voorhees. How do you go from being a supernatural monster killer in parts 6, 7, and 8, and then resurrecting him without explaining anything, killing him off in the first 5 minutes of the movie, not seeing him in the entire movie, and him showing up again in the last 20 minutes of the movie? What the hell is that? That's stupid writing. It's not good, and it basically eliminates the physical character and the physicality of what Jason Voorhees was and is in these movies. I can't say anything good about this movie because it was just bad. The interesting part about that is seeing Jason Voorhees fight at the end was good, even though we don't see him that well because, the lighting in this movie doesn't make any sense. I give credit to Kane Hodder because Kane Hodder did a fantastic job as Jason Voorhees, but it's done so well. The only thing I didn't like in this movie is how he's killed by this dagger. You stab him in the chest, and the souls that, accumulate over time within Jason are released. And here's the thing, demonic hands burst out through the ground and pull Jason into hell. So basically, that's why it's called Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. And Jason attempts to take this one character, but, this other character tries to save him by being pulled into hell. It's interesting, it's different, but what makes this movie fun is that the glove of Freddy Krueger's hand bursts out of the dirt and pulls Jason's mask into hell while laughing maniacally and evilly. So, which basically this sets up Jason versus, Freddy. And of course, as you know, that in the New Blood, Part 7, Friday the 13th, that movie was supposed to feature Freddy Krueger, but Paramount couldn't come to an agreement with New Line Cinema, so Paramount sold it to New Line Cinema, and that's how we got Freddy vs. Jason in 2003. So the development and writing for this movie basically was that producer Sean S. Cunningham, who wrote and directed the very first movie in 1980, conceived an action horror film in which Jason Voorhees would battle Freddy Krueger. Paramount Pictures, who had released the previous 8 movies, negotiated with New Line Cinema over the rights to the series and ultimately granted New Line rights to the Jason Voorhees character, but retained control of the Friday the 13th title. New Line Cinema placed Cunningham's idea for a Freddy vs. Jason film on hold, prompting him to generate a different script to precede the plotline of this movie. Cunningham's original idea would later manifest and be brought into the movie Freddy vs. Jason in 2003. Now, basically, a other concept in the initial draft for Friday the 13th Part 9 was based in which Elias Voorhees would have been written to be Jason's brother and dug up his body at the beginning of the film, eating his heart and taking on his supernatural powers and embarking on a killing spree. Now, according to the screenwriter, he had originally written the character of, Stephen Freeman to be Tommy Jarvis from Part 4 through 6, but New Line Cinema only owned the rights to Jason and not the character of Tommy Jarvis. So Tommy Jarvis was technically supposed to come back in this movie, but he didn't. And Elias Voorhees, evidently the brother of Jason Voorhees. Now, here's the thing, though. You say that Elias Voorhees was the brother of Jason Voorhees, but technically, Elias Voorhees, or simply known as Mr. Voorhees, is the husband of Pamela Voorhees and the father of Jason Voorhees. So yeah, it's not his brother, it's his father. So if he brought the father aspect into this movie, it definitely would have worked probably, but not to a certain point of execution. The whole idea of being possessed by Jason was okay, but not great. The movie failed on many different levels because we don't actually see the tutorial character of Jason Voorhees in this movie. And the total time you see him is maybe 25 to 30 minutes, and that's it. Other than that, he doesn't appear in this movie at all a lot. And it's kind of sad to say. And when you set up the character arc of Freddy versus Jason, make that movie right after this, because don't wait 10 years or so to do something like that. You wanted this movie in working development for 20 plus years, and then all of a sudden you get the rights to it. And when New Line Cinema gets the rights to Jason Voorhees and Freddy Krueger, do something with it. Don't just leave it there. But, hey, it's New Line Cinema. They have their good and bad days, so to speak. So let me know in the comment section below what you think about Jason Goes to Hell, The Final Friday. Do you think it's the worst entry in the film series? And why? And do you think Paramount Pictures selling the character of Jason Voorhees to New Line Cinema set up the Freddy vs. Jason movie in a good way? And did you like Freddy Krueger's glove showing up at the end of this movie, teasing that big showdown that all horror icons and horror fans wanted for so long? Let me know in the comment section below about the questions I just asked. And be sure you tune into the next episode of the Markio Podcast, where I talk about Jason X. And be sure you click that subscribe button and hit that notification bell for new videos and new podcast episodes on the Markio Productions YouTube page. And follow Markio Productions on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. And follow me, Anthony, your host, on Instagram and Twitter at Mr. Filmstock. And follow the Markio Podcast on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. I'll leave a link to all the social media accounts in the description box below. You can check it out and follow along. All right, everyone, that does it for today's episode. I'm your host, Anthony. Thanks for tuning in.